J. Thomson in the year 1904 is the first model of atomic structure. So earlier, when Dalton had put forth his atomic theory, he had just given us what his thoughts were about the atom, but he had not given us a model of what the atom looked like. So therefore, J. Thomson was the one who gave us the first model of atomic structure. According to this model, the positive charge is distributed throughout the atom and the negatively charged electrons are embedded in it. So what Thomson told us that in an atom there is a positive charge that is distributed equally in the atom, and inside these atoms there are electrons which are embedded in them. The distributed positive charge is balanced by the negative charge of the electrons. Therefore, in the final substance, when we see around us, there is no charge to it because the positive charge and the negative charge cancel each other out and they are balanced. Therefore, the atom as a whole becomes electrically neutral.
Do you know, the plum pudding or plum cake is a sweet dish prepared during Christmas. In old times, this dish was made in Western countries by adding pieces of dried fruit called plum. These days, raisins or dates are used. So therefore, J. Thomson named his atomic model the plum pudding because he believed that within the plum pudding, as you add dry fruits or raisins or dates, similarly there are electrons embedded in the atom. Can you tell if the striker flicked by you misses the coin that you aimed at, where would the striker go?
While playing games such as Carom, you must have noticed that when you flick the striker and it misses the coin that you aimed at, the striker would go forward and hit the edge of the other side of the board. If the striker hits the coin, in which direction would it go? So this is pretty obvious that when you flick the striker and it hits the coin will go forward in the direction in which you flicked the coin. Rutherford's nuclear model of atom. Now Rutherford was another scientist and he gave his own nuclear model of atom in 1911. Rutherford studied the inside of atom by his celebrated scattering experiment and put forth the nuclear model of atom in the year 1911. So Rutherford was a scientist and he performed several experiments. From these experiments, the most famous one was the scattering experiment. And by this experiment, he gave us the nuclear model of atom. So let's see what did he do in this experiment. Rutherford took a very thin gold foil which had a thickness of 10 raised to minus 4 millimeter. So it was very thin, and bombarded it, that is fired it with positively charged alpha particles emitted by a radioactive element. So on this foil he fired these positively charged alpha particles, and from where did he get these particles were emitted from a radioactive element. He observed the path of the alpha particles by means of a fluorescent screen around the gold foil. So around the gold foil he placed a screen so that he could see the pathway that the alpha particles were taking. It was expected that the alpha particles would get reflected from the gold foil if the positively charged mass were evenly distributed inside the atom. So according to J. Thomson's plum pudding model, he told us that within an atom, the positive charge is equally distributed in it. So therefore, if it was true, then in this gold foil also, the positive charge would be equally distributed. And therefore, when we bombard it with alpha particles, they would be reflected back. That is, they would hit the gold foil, and in that they will hit the positive charge and they would be bombarded back no matter where the alpha particles were hit. So if it was hit over here, it would be reflected back because the whole gold foil is equally distributed with positive charge. Unexpectedly, most of the alpha particles went straight through the foil. So this was surprising, because when Rutherford performed this experiment, he noticed that when he actually bombarded it with alpha particles, most of them went through. They did not come back. A small number of alpha particles got deflected from the original path through a small angle. A still smaller number of alpha particles got deflected through a larger angle, and surprisingly, one alpha particle out of 20,000 bounced back in the direction opposite to the original path. So this is an example of the actual Rutherford experiment, in which this is the alpha particle emitter. That is, this is a radioactive element which is emitting alpha particles, and this is the gold foil. And this purple is the fluorescent screen, so that Rutherford could come to know where the alpha particle was going after hitting the golden foil. So when the alpha particles were bombarded on this gold foil, he noticed that most of them went through, as we can see in the ones behind over here. Then he noticed that some got deflected through a small angle. That is the ones we see over here and over here. That tells us that some of them got deflected through a small angle, and an even smaller number of particles got deflected by a large angle, and that is what we see on either side over here. But only one out of every 20,000 bounced back, and we can see that by this one, which is coming back to the original position. Now, what does this experiment tell us? The large number of alpha particles that went straight through the foil indicates that there was no obstacle in their path. So there should have been a positive charge over there, and it should not have allowed the alpha particle to pass through. But this did not happen because the alpha particle was easily able to pass through. It meant that there must be mainly an empty space inside the atoms in the solid gold foil. So this told us that J.J. Thomson's plum pudding model was not completely accurate, and mostly inside the atom there is mainly an empty space. The small number of alpha particles that get deflected through a small or big angle must have faced an obstacle in their path. So because these ones were deflected back, they must have encountered an obstacle, and therefore it changed the direction of the alpha particle. It meant that the positively charged and heavy part causing the obstruction would be in the center of the atom. So this told us that the main obstacle that is present within the atom is in the center, and therefore we come to know that the positively charged particles within an atom are present in the center of the atom. From this, Rutherford put forth a nuclear model for atom as follows. So this is what Rutherford's atomic model looked like. And in this we can see that most of the alpha particles are able to pass through, whereas some deflected by a small angle, and even few deflected by a larger angle. And only 1 in 20,000 returned back. So now we will see all the points that Rutherford put forth. So in this he said that there is a positively charged nucleus at the center of an atom. So after doing these experiments, he concluded that all the positively charged ions that are present in an atom are located in the nucleus, and this nucleus is present in the center of the atom. Secondly, he said that almost all the entire mass of the atom is concentrated in the nucleus. So after this he said that even though the atom is very large, the entire mass is concentrated only in the center, and that is in the nucleus. He also said that negatively charged particles called electrons revolve around the nucleus. So he said that how the planets are revolving around the sun, similarly there are electrons that are revolving around the nucleus. The total negative charge on all the electrons is equal to the positive charge in the nucleus. So within the nucleus there are positively charged ions, whereas the electrons are negatively charged. So the number of electrons that are revolving around the nucleus would be equal to the positive charge that is present within the nucleus. Therefore, as the opposite charges are balanced, the atom is electrically neutral. So because the number of electrons is equal to the number of positive charges in the nucleus, therefore the negative and positive are equal and they will cancel each other out, hence making the atom electrically neutral. There is an empty space between the revolving electrons and the atomic nucleus. So, as he's seen that most of the alpha particles were passing through, therefore he realized that between the electrons and the nucleus, we can find a lot of empty space. Use your brain power. Which discovery did point out that an atom has an internal structure? So it was Rutherford's scattering experiment which told us that an atom has mainly an internal structure. What is the difference between the solid atom in Dalton's atomic theory and Thomson's atomic model? So if you remember, Dalton just proposed that an atom is present and it has positive and negative charges. But Thomson's atomic model told us that the atom is like a plum pudding, in which the positive charges are equally distributed and electrons are embedded in it. Explain the difference between the distribution of positive charge in Thomson's atomic model and Rutherford's atomic model. So, in Thomson's atomic model, if you remember, the positive charge was equally distributed in the entire atom. But Rutherford's scattering experiment told us that the positive charge is concentrated in the nucleus of the atom, which is in the center of it. What is the point difference between the place of electron in the atomic models of Thomson and Rutherford? So, Thomson said that the atom was like a plum pudding in which the electrons were embedded in it. But Rutherford told us that the electrons are revolving around the nucleus which consisted of the positive charges. What is the thing which is present in Rutherford's atomic model and not present in Dalton's and Thomson's atomic model? So Rutherford's atomic model basically concentrated on the empty space that was present in the atom, which was not told to us by Dalton or Thomson. If you want the detailed explanation to all these questions, go to www.jkacademypro.com. An established law of physics, an electrically charged body is revolving in a circular orbit, its energy decreases. So, there is a law in physics which is proved, in which they tell us that if an electrically charged body is revolving in a circular orbit, its energy will decrease after a certain amount of time. According to this law, the atom described in Rutherford's model turns out to be unstable because Rutherford told us that the electrons were revolving around the nucleus. So because the electrons are charged, that is they have a negative charge, and that they are revolving in a circular orbit, their energy would tend to decrease and therefore they will become unstable. But in reality, however, an atom except the radioactive atom are stable. So mostly all the atoms are stable except radioactive atoms. So how do we prove this? This shortcoming of Rutherford's atomic model was removed by the atomic model put forth by Niels Bohr in the year 1913. So this unstableness that should have been present in the atom was not explained by Rutherford's model. And then there was another scientist called Niels Bohr who put another atomic model which proved that the atom was stable in 1913. For the answers to this exercise and other free worksheets, please go to jkacademypro.com. This was the end of part 2. For the part 3 video, please click on the link in the description box below.